Static rage fuels a powerless outcast's revenge, but can he control the voltage or himself? Let's find out, shall we? Hello and welcome to an episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host, Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing good and hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast. You can find www.spiraken.com. We're also on YouTube, Blue Skies, Facebook, and Instagram, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN in your search bar, and I'll guarantee you find us one way or the other. And if you are watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and click on that bell for notification for when we release new episodes of this awesome podcast. And let's get to it, Shai, because I'm excited to talk about this manga that was created by the creator of Homunculus. Let's get to this weird premise that we're talking about, shall we? And what we're talking about is Hikari-Man. This is by Hideo Yamamoto. This was released 2 mangas after Homunculus, and it is a story of a young man and his electrosensitivity. Who we're talking about is Shiroichi Hikari, or Hikari is his first name. And he's this otaku who he loves building computers and he loves playing video games. That's his life. And he tries to keep his head down because he's in a classroom full of assholes, bullies, and really horrible people. Kind of sucks when you notice that your classmates getting the crap beat out of him and you can't say anything because they're going to bully you if you say anything and do some horrible things to you. So Hikari tends to keep his head down, just play his video games, and relax. But there's one tiny problem with Hikari. Well, Hikari suffers from a little bit of electrosensitivity. Not like Chuck from Better Call Saul, but more in the fact that he tends to get zapped and electrocuted and power down items randomly. For example, he'll be playing a video game and it will just digitize down. Or he'll reach for a doorknob and he'll get zapped by static electricity. But it's not a little zap. This will actually hurt him and make him go unconscious. Kind of scares the rest of his class. And they all think he's kind of weird for this reasoning. And after speaking to his friend, who is the nurse, this lady who kind of takes care of him because he's constantly in the nurse's office, she explains that she was reading an article about these electric men, electrosensitive people, who what they do is they are able to not manipulate, but their bodies are uberly sensitive to electricity. This means that they glow in the dark, that they are more prone to being struck by lightning. They are someone who zaps things more and they draw electricity to themselves. Kind of a cool premise. And Hikari had never heard of this before, so he's kind of shocked that this is a real thing and it's possibly him. How does this affect him? Who knows, but it gives him a reason why maybe these problems are happening. He doesn't know. But he's just going to deal with it as most of us do, just ignore it and go for it. Until one day, when he gets home from school, he decides he's going to build a new computer and upgrade his rig. Like most of us are, you remove clothes to make sure no static electricity will hit the internal components because electricity or static electricity could fry circuit boards. So he tends to, whenever he's home, he takes off all his clothes, sits in his underwear, and he does what he does, building computers. Until something bad happens. See, after he upgrades his awesome new computer with great graphics, great audio boards, and a better CPU, and kicking ass in his favorite fighting game, he ends up celebrating by dancing around next to a bunch of wires. Unfortunately, while he's doing all the moves that were in the video game, he trips and falls, leading to his head connecting to a piece of electrical circuitry that's plugged in, and he gets zapped. After being knocked unconscious, unfortunately, he, wakes up a couple hours later with a mark on the back of his neck because the circuit board fuses to the base of his neck. And he's like, what the hell is this for? Doesn't think anything's wrong until he goes to his computer because his computer isn't working. And he starts typing on it like, I gotta fix this, what's going on? And then when he's touching it, he zaps out. His brain, his body, his system escapes from his body. So his physical body is just standing there with a vacant expression on his face at the keyboard. But meanwhile, Hikari is outside. He's in the electrical grid. He's a being of pure electricity that sees things. He's flying, he's teleporting around, and then just randomly he thinks about his teacher, like, this is cool, maybe this is what she was talking about. He ends up in the nurse's apartment. And he looks in a mirror and he sees himself. He is now a being of pure electricity. And you could see that all of the nerves and all the areas where all nerve endings connect are highlighted in this electrical glowing outfit, which is really cool. And he can't feel anything. He can manipulate stuff, but he can't feel anything, which is kind of an interesting premise because he now can travel. He's like, this is a crazy ass dream. Let me do what I can. He zooms after birds. He zooms up to the top of Tokyo Tower. And then he notices a girl being harassed. And what does he do? He immediately goes to town and kicks butt, acting like a video game, and jumping and doing a flying kick to one of the bullies' faces. And while this is happening in the real world where his spectral form is, his body's actually manipulating his controllers like he's playing a video game, but he doesn't realize that. And after kicking these guys' butts, he ends up saving the day, saves this girl who can't see him, just sees an electrical being, and then she says, thank you so much, thank you, and she grabs his arm. Well, the problem is when she grabs the arm, it's like touching electricity, and she gets shocked and is now unconscious. Or maybe she's dead. We're not entirely sure. But he doesn't understand. He's freaking out, closes his eyes, and zoop, he's back in his body. And his mom's like, hey, what's going on? How was your day? And he's like, I'm fine, just working on my new computer. And now he has the ability to travel from place to place using his electrical form whenever high emotions interact. And what can he do with this? Well, maybe there's a bully who tries to bully him. Maybe he can get revenge. Or more than that, maybe he can do the right thing. Or maybe he'll become the bully. It's the question of what's going to happen. And we honestly don't know as this manga goes on. I'm not going to spoil any more than that. That was the first chapter, and I've been getting better at not spoiling more than I should. But this is the story of Hikari as he deals with several bullies and he discovers this new power he has and tries to apply it the best he can. And there's tons of other characters in this that are all horrible human beings. Just like in Homunculus, you have some of the worst of humanity in this book. And these are teens that are horrible. They will knock kids out doing martial arts and then take their pants down and photo them. Or they'll do other things like pantsing them or, well, we're not going to get too far into it because it's a little upsetting and triggering. However, it does a great job of showing this world to it and also learning more about Hikari and how he's able to use this power effectively. What's going to happen next, we're not entirely sure. Well, ironically, when we get to the manga release of the week, the second volume comes out because this one, surprisingly, you can't find it online, which is great. And 7 Seas did a great job releasing this for how it is because there's 8 volumes and only 4 volumes are being released in 2-in-1 tankobons that look great. And again, has that great smell to it. But more importantly, the art. As usual, Hideo Yamamoto, his art is great and bizarre and strange. Like you see Hikari get into a fight with one of the bullies at a karaoke bar. And it is a crazy scene where you have a guy getting beat up by a bunch of nerve endings that you can see all the nerves, and that's all you see in a silhouette. It is strange and bizarre, but really cool. There's other things you see involving some Yakuza members that is, I'm not going to lie, it's horrifying. It is not to the level of Homunculus, where Homunculus, there were some things that were trigger warning and very disturbing. It's getting there, but this is the first volume, or first 2 volumes. So, story is great, the art is exceptional, and I do like that all the characters have visual looks. It's not just, let's focus on the main image and then everyone in the background is kind of forgotten about. It's no, this is everybody has their look, everyone has their point, and that is one of my favorite things about this. Like that was my issue with last quarter, last episode. It was that you had the main characters in focus, and then everybody else half-assed. This is not that. This is everybody. There's attention to detail in this, and there's weight to bodies, and honestly, it's pretty fucking cool. So, art style's great, characters great. Now, what about the overarching concept? This is like Homunculus. It's for a very niche market. It is a revenge story. It is a coming of age story. It's this twisted take on sci-fi kind of superhero, but not yet. This is more like he now has a super sci-fi ability, and what's he going to do with it? Is he going to do the right thing and be a hero, or is he going to be a villain? That's the question of this story. What is going to happen? And the plot is engaging, and it is one which keeps you going, but it does take a while to get to that point. For him to get his powers, it takes a while. It's not just 1, 2, 3, done. It takes about that much of the book to get to where we're going. But then once we get there, it's running fully. It's fully running into the premise of him discovering his powers, which does take a while. It's like at least 4 chapters of him just studying in this one night. And then when we get to the B plot, which is in the second volume, where we find out more about the bullies and their whole situation, at that point, then it gets a little different. And it is a more difficult read to read. So, translation, great story, slow burn. If you're not into that, you're not going to like this. If you don't like people being bullied, you're going to hate this, because the people who are bullied, it is pretty vicious how they get bullied. I'm not going to lie. It's extremely vicious. But it's one of those ones where you're definitely going to want to check out. I mean, the creator of Ichi the Killer did this, so yeah, point is. So for that reason and all those, I'm going to have to give this Bar for a Friend, Don't Return Unless Offered Pocky. It is a one-of-a-kind story. I mean, yes, it is a typical kid gets superpowers, but the way that it's shown and done is very original. And this has that amazing artwork by Hideo Yamamoto, which is great. And the slow burn story goes dark really fast. Like I said, there are some things here which are very triggering, and there's a lot of bullying in this, and there's some things where you're kind of horrified. Remember, Homunculus was just as horrifying, but more so. Now, one of the best parts about this is that this is a 4 omnibus run. So there's only 4 volumes. That's it. The series is complete. So you can collect these pretty quickly if you are interested in that. But it's worth it. Now, if you agree with me or disagree with me, you can email me personally at Zan, that's xa@spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken and let me know your thoughts on if you enjoyed this, if you're going to read this, if this sounds completely boring to you. And so, with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga release for the week, because we have a lot to talk about this week. There is several. So let's get to it, shall we? So for the manga release for the week, we've got You've Got Mail, The Perils of a Pigeon Post, You Are My Alpha, Yakuza Reincarnation 12, The Witches of Adonis, Volume 10, The Villainous Stands the Hero, Volume 4, Unnamed Memory, Volume 6, Tokyo Revengers, 29-31, The Tiger Won't Eat the Dragon Yet, Volume 3, Teasing Master Tagaki-san, Volume 20, Survival in Another World of My Mistress, the manga number 7, Super Ball Girls, Volume 1, The Summer Hikaru Died, Volume 5. This one is a little weird and a little dark, and what we're talking about is Strategic Lovers, Volume 2. The Small Animal-Like Lady is Adored by the Ice Prince, Volume 2. Sister and Giant, Volume 3. A Sinner of the Deep Sea. This is, I believe, a standalone series, I believe. Oh, actually, no, this is Volume 3. Shimazaki in the Land of Peace, Volume 3. Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts Heir, White Rabbit and the Prince of Beasts, Volume 1, the manga. Rejected by a Hero's Party, Volume 2. A Reincarnated Witch Spells Doom. This is Volume 6. Nomu X Shiba, Volume 1. Monthly in the Garden with My Landlord, Volume 4. The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today, Volume 9. The Liminal Zone 2. This is the second collection of the Liminal Zone series by Junji Ito. The Legend of Dororo and Hyakimaru, Volume 9. Kageki Shoujo, Volume 13. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 6, Stone Ocean, Volume 9, the final volume of Stone Ocean. And also, we just got the announcement that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Steel Ball Run, is getting an animated series, so I'm excited about that as well. It's All Your Fault, Volume 1. Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon on the Side, Volume 25. In the Heavenly Prison, The Devil Enchants Me, Volume 1. In Another World, My Sister Stole My Name, Volume 2. If It's You, I Might Try Falling in Love, Volume 1. I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History, Volume 2. I Want to Be a Receptionist in This Magical World, Volume 6. I Can't Say No to the Lonely Girl, Volume 6. Honiko Akabane's Bodyguard, Volume 2. His Majesty the Demon King's Housekeeper, Volume 9. Hikari-Man, 3 and 4, so second omnibus. Higurashi When They Cry, Meguri, Volume 4. Heroine, Saint, No, I'm an All Works Made and Proud of It, the light novel, Volume 2. Hellsing, Volume 9, second edition. Hazuri Skill, the guild member with a worthless skill is actually a legendary assassin, Volume 7. Ghost, Volume 3. Goblin Slayer Side Story, Year 1, Volume 12. Gazing at the Star Next Door, Volume 5. Friday at the Atelier, Volume 3. Fist of the North Star, Volume 16. The Fiancé Chosen by the Ring, Volume 6. Fairy Tale 100-Year Journey or Quest, Volume 17. The Failure at God School, Volume 1. Excellent Property, Rejects for Residents, Volume 3, Baths, Lavatories, and Angels Are Communal. Dungeon Friends Forever, Volume 4. The Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon Emperor, Volume 5. Daughter of the Emperor, Volume 10. A Condition Called Love, Volume 12. Classroom of the Elite, Year 2, the light novel, Volume 10. Cheeky Brat, Volume 13. The Case Files of Jeweler Richard, Volume 10, and this is the light novel. Breakfast with My Two-Tailed Cat, Volume 3. Blade and Bastard, Volume 2. The Beginning After the End, Volume 7. Before You Discard Me, I Shall Have My Way with You, Volume 3, the manga. The Ayakashi Hunter's Tainted Bride, Volume 1. April Showers Bring May Flowers, Volume 2. The Anemone Feels the Heat, Volume 1. Am I Actually the Strongest, Volume 6, light novel. 12 Dirty Deeds to Unite the Heroine and Her Princess, Volume 1. And last, and certainly not least, we have DRCL Midnight Children, Volume 4. This is the fourth series in the Dracula alternate story where it's about the brides of Dracula. And these are the manga releases for the week. We've got some really great ones, some really weird ones, and surprisingly a lot of fan service this week. So what are you most excited about? Let me know. Email me, zansparkin.com, or tweet me at Sparkin. For me personally, my top 5 for this week are going to be The Failure at God School, Volume 1, because it's a weird premise. JoJo Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean, Volume 9. This is the end of the series and the end of the first timeline. If you're familiar with Stone Ocean, this is where they jump to another world. Whole thing. It's JoJo's. Liminal Zone 2. We're getting a second collection for Junji Ito in this new one, and they're just as bizarre as the first Liminal Zone. Sacrificial Princess and the Prince of Beasts, Volume 1. This is a story about a young prince who runs away to become a bounty hunter before he has to reach the age of 10 and summon a being to bring peace to the world and meet his bride. It's kind of cool and really weird, but I'm intrigued by this. And last but not least, Super Ball Girls, because this sounds completely batshit crazy, but gotta admit, it's gonna be kind of cool and fun. But what are you excited about? Let me know. Email me zanspiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts. And before we go any further, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who's checking out this video and podcast. Every email I get, every comment I get, every new subscriber, it gives me more motivation to keep doing this. So thank you so much. I love doing this, and I want to keep doing this. I'm an old man who reads manga with thick glasses and magnifying glass, and I'm going to keep going as long as I can. I mean, 584 episodes. We've been doing this for a while, and we're going to keep going as long as we can. I digress. So before we go any further, before we get to the best part of the episode, remember to like, share, subscribe, leave comments down below, hit that bell for notification, and if you want to help us create more fun content for you to enjoy, remember to check out our GoFundMe at gofundme.com/Spiraken or tinyurl.com/Spiraken. We're still trying to raise a little bit of money left. Any little bit helps, and I appreciate everything that you do. So thank you so much. And with that in mind, let's get to the part that you've all been waiting for, the most popular part of this podcast. And what are we talking about? We are talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. What I've done is I've assigned a manga tile to each 10 slots. So we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, the manga that's in that spot is the one we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga, episode 585. We are 15 away from 600. Are we going to make it? We're going to see what happens. So let's spin and see, shall we? Number 8. Gakukura. Gachakuda. This is one which is about a prison. So this, I've heard, is a mix of Deadman Wonderland and something else. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? We're going to have to wait and find out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. And as always, keep reading manga. I'll see you later.